Hello, it's Kim from VIII Tarot. Just looking at the weekly energies. Week beginning, when's the beginning? 3rd of May, in Taurus season. Yeah, so just a general read. Don't try to force anything to fit. Whatever resonates, and just leave the rest. Using the Gilded Tarot today. It's not a deck I've ever used a great deal. There's some interesting interpretations in it. So something new. So we'll cut the deck. Can't see. Right. So we've got death. That's upside down. I don't know the deck very well, so I'm not familiar with the cards. 4 of Swords. Okay, so it looks like stagnancy. Definitely stagnancy of thought, lack of inspiration. It's coming to an end. We've drawn that out as long as we could. Because 4s, that was 4 of Swords. The 4s are powerful, there's stability, and they're the first stable number, but they become stagnant, rotten even, if they're left too long, if you stay in that mode too long. So, weekly energies, beginning 3rd of May, 21, That's just my bad shuffling. Alright. Right. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. So we've got Temperance ready today. King of Wands. Oh, that's interesting. The fly was the Queen of Wands, so we have a pair. 8 of Pentacles, work, and Temperance. What a lovely card. It's one of my favourites. I've got heaps of favourites actually. The bottom of the deck, 6 of Cups. Look, I know. What's that beeping for? I don't know. It's a very general read, but this is a match. This is lovey stuff this week, or a partnership you're already in. I mean, it's just that's Tarot saying that's what we're dealing with here, relationships, with the King and Queen of Wands. 6 of Cups. What else have we got? Queen of Swords. Strength. So Temperance, Queen of Swords. We're coming out of Queen of Swords. We're coming out of the 4 of Swords. That non-feeling, which we have to go through after the 3 of Swords. 4 of Swords is about contemplation, real-time meditation, and recuperation. So, and with that, that's that recovery mode or that recuperation, that actually that transforms us into something better, as Temperance is saying here. So I'll just sit on these energies for a little bit. Okay, so this is our mix this week. So we've got the King. I had it right a second ago. King of Wands, followed by the 8 of Pentacles. And over here we have Temperance, beautiful card. We had the Flyer, which is the Queen of Wands, which is, so we've got our counterparts. We've got the King and the Queen of the same suit. Managed to get wax all over that card in a mere matter of minutes. Okay, and bottom of the deck, energy shattered. We have 6 of Cups, another beautiful card. That's actually one. Well, it's arguable, obviously, but it is one of the most beautiful, cards cards in the deck. It's out. Well, yeah, it's altruistic love. In Ace of Cups probably, you know, rivals it, but I mean, this is inaction though. It's not potential. So this is untainted, innocent love. So interesting mix. So first thing I'm going to say. So we'll just go card by card. The King of Wands. I'm not real familiar, so I'm actually not going to do any imagery or anything like that because I'm actually not familiar with the Gilded Tarot. It's an interesting deck though, and that's why I won't do it any injustice, so I'll just here it is. It's action, it's leadership, it's often it's entrepreneurial stuff, and what I love is the continuation where we've had the Fool coming up so much this year. In a lot of the readings, I think last week is the only week we haven't had the Fool. We've definitely had it over the last 2 months. He's popped up a bit. And that's taking a leap of faith, taking a chance, acting in conjunction with the divine, and moving forward and just trusting in the universe. Change, big change, leaps of faith, and that with his loyal dog by his side, his faithful companion, and that's trusting, that's knowing, that's you know, the universe has got you back. So it's manifested. We've moved on from the Fool. The wheel turned, and here we are bossing up. This is leadership, as I said, and this is manifesting real work, and it comes directly after the Fool within like the numbering system. So the Fool is 0 and 22 within the major arcana, and this guy's number 23. So we're progressing. It's wonderful. As I said, this is action. It can be exercise. It's very physical too. I mean, entrepreneur. I mean, yeah, it could be. Well, it could be anything really. But I mean, it could be also just because of that Pentacles that I was talking about last week. That can be health, that can be body, this can be actually just exercise and getting fit, things like that. But it's definitely moving things into the real world. So, great card. Eight of Pentacles. Now, oh, I should have said too, this is, it's fire, so it's Aries. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I always think of him as definitely Aries. That's an Aries card. That is, because of his fire, yeah, the fiery, because he's fire and fire, kings of fire, he's probably the closest to the Emperor, I'd say. That is debatable as well, but that's what I think. Oh, and he's King Dangalang too, if anybody else has heard my other readings. King Dangalang. I'll never forget that. It's the first thing I think when I see him. Anyway, so Eight of Pentacles is Virgoan. This is Virgoan energy. This is just practical, nose to the grind, isn't it? Doing stuff, doing the work, like diligence. I think it's called prudence. I think in the Crowley deck, Crowley-Thoth deck, and it's talking about the apprentice, right? That's a lot of hard work being an apprentice, but because it's the Pentacles, it's in the real world. I think you're throwing that into the mix, so worry not. But an apprenticeship is a hard work. You dedicated. I mean, you commit to something, and it takes quite a few years, and then you get your trade. And but yeah, there's a lot of hard work and learning involved in being an apprentice. And eventually, you do become. I don't know, what do you become? The tradesman or whatever? The master, whatever. But this could also be with the King of Wands, the mentoring, teaching, leading by example, really, because this is so physical. So, and that's associated with Virgo, that card. But it's also with the health. That training, it's the routine. This is definitely like a conveyor belt kind of mass production So it's every day. It's just doing the stuff every day. It's getting up. We can all start new regimes, and we can all start these wonderful new ideas and enterprises, but it's doing it every day, and that's this guy. This is Eight of Pentacles. And Temperance, what a beautiful card. This is about alchemy. She actually, this archangel, she tempers humanity's wine with water to find the right alchemical mix. This is another confirmation and transition from last week, because this is Sagittarius, this card. That's the sign it's associated with, which is fire, and it's sun, but it's also ruled by Jupiter, and the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energies. So Jupiter's moved on, the wheel is turned, which is number 10 in the Major Arcana. This is number 14. And we just, when we cut the deck, we had Four of Swords and Death. This is number 4. Death is number 13, I should say. This is 14. This is the transition. Transition from death is finding the new calibration, finding the new frequency even, because you're bossing up with the King of Wands. It's good to see. And because we're talking about fire, and we're talking about passion, we're talking about spirit, we're talking about divine energy, this is transitional, changing, I guess. It is about lifting frequency. This is primal stuff. So there's a couple of ways to look at it. I mean, this one thing I can't ignore, which annoys me. It is a general read, but we have counterparts here. The Queen came out a flyer, and we got the King of Wands. Now those are counterparts. So we're talking, I don't know, divine masculine, divine feminine. We also have my soul family too. I mean, in such a small spread, we've got 2 soulmate cards. So we've got Temperance and 6 of Cups. So it's soul family stuff. So if that applies to you relationship-wise, yeah, and which one is what? The Queen I always associate with Leo. Very, that's a witchy card actually, and if it wasn't this deck, I would be, no, I wouldn't know. But yeah, because it's divine energy, she's very in touch magically, I guess. Yeah, it's probably the witchiest of all the queens. Yeah, so you can either look at it, it depends what's going on in your life, but if that's the case, if somebody's, yeah, you'll know if that applies to you. Yes, that seems to be a soulmate or soul family or whatever, a good partnership. So with the 6 of Cups, that's longevity, that's family even. Or if it is to do with, see, there's also behind the 6 of Cups, we've got the Queen of Swords and Leo. Now so this could be referring to a separation between divine counterparts already, and the 8 of Pentacles is actually saying to work on that because it is your soulmate. So a couple of different stories happening. Oh, no, I thought it was turned around. It's all happening here. I'm doing very well. Okay, so frozen out, and with the strength, frozen out card. Yeah, that's the Queen of Swords, by the way. Yeah, get over it, because yeah, get over it. Work it out, whatever. That's a message that won't resonate for many, but it had to be said. And it's a general reading, so I would never go that way usually. But when we've got divine counterparts and we've got soulmate cards, yeah, I had to say something. But most likely, and this is what I think it should be in the general reading interpreted as, what we're doing is we're integrating these two energies. which this guy is a bit of a bull in the china shop, and she is, a little bit too self-confident in my eyes. I mean, Leo, think about Leos, any Leos you might know. Yeah, she, both of these are charisma like off the wazoo. So I hate to think when they're integrated, well, nobody should look their way. But it's about integrating these two parts, because, I mean, just look at society. When we try to correct things, sometimes we lean too far the other way. We overcorrect, and then we become ridiculously rigid, or ridiculously this, overgoverned, ridiculously overgoverned, things like that. But when we integrate these two, because these two, they both come from the fire energy, they're both from the same divine source, yet they utilize them and express them so differently. But one's not better than the other. They actually complement one another. So, yeah, I would see it that way, as the integration of the king and the queen, which we all have feminine, masculine aspects that need to be integrated to make ourselves whole. They need to be recognized, acknowledged, and then welcomed to be integrated. So after the death and the transition, the alchemical, this alchemy, the humanity's wine with water, this is fire and water with the king and the queen. Or even better, actually, on the within the Kabbalistic tree of life, Temperance is actually found on the path. I don't know what number it is, but it's between the sun and the moon, number 6 and number 9. So it's the divine marriage of the sun and the moon. And it's not just about finding the right mix, like to get along or anything like that. It's actually about taking the best qualities and the best of each, mixing them and throwing out something even better. The product in the end will be even better. The best alchemical mix is turning lead, lead into gold. Yeah. So, and with the bottom of the deck being 6 of Cups, that is, it's purity. And the Queen of Wands too, she's a purifier. She, and if we're going on the health thing again, like if we're starting a new exercise regime, we're sticking to it, and she is purity, so that would be your diet, I think, like eating things and being purified. But not only that, because we're talking about divine energy in the divine suit, like that's soul purification too, the Queen of Wands. She can be a reset, but the thing that annoys me about the Queen of Wands, great good, great evil. Great evil. And because of the charisma, the vanity usually kicks in, and I usually see her in great evil mode. But I think the way she's come out in this spread, like she's just flew out, is because she needs to be considered as integration, I think, in a good sense, because with all the other good cards. Yeah, and that's purity. This is, and 6 of Cups too, along with like we've got Temperance and 6 of Cups, complete recalibration. We're coming out, we're lifting our frequency, and we're coming out better. And we never want to become hardened. We never. I mean, our healthy dose of cynicism is good, but we never want adversity to change who we are. Yeah, to harden our hearts, no. You know, then the bastards win, so to speak. If you change who you are and you lose your innocence, then you lose your goodness. It's a downhill slide from there, actually. So this is a recalibration and purification and a regaining of innocence, definitely. And it's all just continuing on from last week when we've got Jupiter here with Sagittarius, And Sagittarius is like the humanitarian. Oh, well, apart from Aquarius. But he's the humanitarian. Aquarius is all mental, right? Humanitarian in that way. High libertine thoughts and all that sort of stuff. This guy, though, he's mixing the fire with the water. So, I mean, sun and the moon. That's... especially with the Queen of Swords here, she's here somewhere. Bottom deck, just below the Six of Cups, we had the Queen of Swords. Frosty Queen, but if we backtrack a bit, we had the Four of Swords and we had Death when we cut the deck. Four of Swords is after Three of Swords. Heartbreak. What happens in heartbreak like that? Betrayal, actually, deep betrayal. What happens is, as a matter of protection, and it's a bloody good one too, we disconnect head from heart, you know. You said I could trust this, and, you know, look how I'm feeling, all that sort of stuff. So we disconnect head from heart. They betrayed one another, right? And then we just have to. Some people never reconnect. That's the thing. They stay frozen. And when you're frozen, you're not living. Queen of Swords isn't frozen as such. She's she's certainly not a sunny day. But she's sort of somewhere back in. She just practices discernment like nobody's business, and I'll tell you what, you'd have to there kind of are mountains in front of her that are snow-capped and whatnot, and rightfully so, but she is all head, but she's a queen, so she's still got the heart. It's there, but it doesn't play a factor in any of her considerations, but it's still there. So it's not completely frozen over, it's just there, well hidden and well protected. But it's a freeze out card in that she has no problem, even if it breaks her heart, that's the thing, she'll still do what she needs to do. The right thing ethically, whatever, it'll happen, and emotions don't come into it. Good thing. So I think with all this fire, oh my God, because we're talking about the King and Queen of fire, of wands. We've also got Sagittarius. So we've got Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all of the fire suits right here. Plus we've got the mixer, the one that wants to get in and mix it up with other things. But this is pure fire, and also ruled by Jupiter. So with all this fire, backed with dedication to it, fanning the fire back here, we're going to melt it. We're going to melt Mrs. Frosty. And that's what needs to happen. We need some passion. We need to find passion again. I mean, because sometimes when you're that disillusioned and you've been betrayed, far out, it'd take a lot. And yeah, to be inspired, to when you're that disillusioned. She's wise enough to know that it is just her experience. That's what because I'm not going to bag the Queen of Swords. She's one of my favourite cards. She's wise enough to know that it's her experience that has made her this way, and to know that it's not actually always she's just wise enough to know that the possibilities, right? That's why she's still got the water. She hasn't completely gone with the mentality. She's not totally air. She's got the water there still. It doesn't factor into any of her decisions or anything like that, but she just knows that her experience has made her wise, and with her discernment and whatnot, but it hasn't hardened her beyond repair. That's what I love about the Queen. Yeah, she still has hope. So with all this fire, we're melting that. Six of Cups. Now, six, it is, all sixes are temporary. But that's the thing you need to remember, pleasure. Just remember that pleasure, right? And the hard work that got you there. It's not necessarily, I think the pleasure is in the hard work with all this sort of stuff. I mean, a lot of people focus on the end result and the pleasure and it's more that this should be the motivation and the, I don't know, anyway. I was going somewhere with that, but I lost it. Like I said, continuation on, we're actually taking on from the Fool. We're leadership skills to entrepreneurship. If you're starting a new business or something, which is very likely with the Eight of Pentacles. Oh goodness, this is going for a long time, isn't it? Well, some spreads are so inspiring. If you are starting on, and you might likely be doing that, and that's what the apprenticeship card might be saying. Because when you're starting a new business, you are the apprentice on the block, aren't you? Be patient. And I really don't like that interpretation. That one, it's like so old school for traditional. The interpretation for temperance is patience, moderation, all that, you know, all the usual stuff. But do and keep trying and keep tampering with the mix. That's what the Queen is saying. Yep, keep trying different ways, trying different methods, yeah, you'll find it. You'll find the right mix, because that's with the Six of Cups there. You'll find it. You'll hit that sweet spot. And that's what I really love too about the spread today. It really has, from everything from the last few weeks, the build up. That's why I said there's a couple of stories here that have emerged that, you know, that will resonate with different people. And they're all emerging from all the potential that we've had. I mean, one week we had, was Ace of, I think it was the Ace of, well, now I'm doubting myself. I think it was the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Yep, and then we've often had the Ace of Wands come up, all that fire that we had in harness, and here we've got the King harnessing the fire. It's awesome. So the fact that it's being put into practical with the Eight of Pentacles just means that it can be put in a lot of different ways. But I mean, and I felt the shift, like, even last week I was feeling more positive, but there's people taking charge of their own lives, and that's what this guy is about. He's in charge of his destiny. So she, by the way, a little bit manipulative, but anyway. Taking charge. And we had so much raw potential with all that divine energy floating around. We had a spring, we had a well, that we've taken it. And not only have we taken it, we've come out as the damn king. That's awesome. And he is very fiery, so yeah. It is being patient and finding the right mix. And when we come out, I mean, if it's a new us emerging, not only with the Six of Cups will that be pleasure, well, pleasure's, yeah, not the best word for it, but it's just an emotional innocence. It's something that, yeah, probably most of us have only experienced as children. Not only will we experience it, but we'll share it. That's the thing, especially if it's a business, whatever, or this enterprise. If that's what your business is about, is making other people happy, making other people happy in their lives, for goodness sake, hop to it and don't stop, and make sure you do stick around finding the right alchemical mix, because this will bring a lot of people fulfillment and pleasure. I'll end on that note, I think. Thanks, guys. It's Kim from Sage Tarot. Yeah, if you're interested in a personal reading, just pop over to sagetarot.org and send me a contact. Have a great week, guys. Yeah, just soak in these energies. Oh, well, not soak, act, but enjoy them. Bye. And I didn't. Great.